On the Lord Hut, here a hut, Nick. On the Lord Hut, here a hut, Nick, Nick. On the Ricky Ticky Low, while living #1 Nickelodeon.
Nicktoons wasn't only a program for children to sit down on a Saturday morning to relax of everyday challenges that a child received. I mean, it was a nostalgic pastime. Many consider it a staple of the 90s. When I see Nick now, I see this generic thing people in business suits try to appeal to a younger audience. But they never really did that. Nickelodeon was always this network that tried new things and took risks, constantly trying to push the envelope. And the result of that were these iconic and fun shows. And with such a catalog of interesting characters, I mean, what do you do with them? You put them in a kart racer. Video games, another staple of the 90s. You mix these two and it's a colorful, beautiful afternoon waster. I didn't really have a PlayStation growing up. I had the PS2, but I played the arcade version of this game at Chuck E. Cheese's, and I threw all my precious little Chucky coins away at this thing. Then I heard Nicktoons Kart Racers was coming out for the Switch, and needless to say, I was very excited. Yeah, I wanted to play as all my old favorite children TV shows. Sign me up. And in the midst of the hype, I picked up Nicktoons Kart Racing and thought it was an enjoyable time. It wasn't the best game ever, but I had a lot of fun with what I got. And then October finally rolled around, and I was underwhelmed. It didn't do a whole lot different. It didn't seem like that much of an upgrade than the PS1 game that came out 17 years ago. So is it better than its counterpart? Is it worse? Let's see how these two fare and which comes out on top. This is Nicktoons Racing versus Nickelodeon Kart Racers. Let's compare. To compare these two games is to compare apples and oranges because fundamentally, these two games have a lot in common with each other. Items, boosts, unlockables, but I mean, what kart racer doesn't do that? Some can argue that many other kart racers do it better than these two ever could. And looking at the reviews for both of these games, I mean, you can see why.
Could have sworn that this game had some bad reviews on it, but I guess not. I guess not.
I mean, at the time Nicktoons Racing came out, the market was so oversaturated with kart racers. I mean, it was easy to have an identifiable brand and slap a car or two on it. You're good to go. That being said, I do believe that there was some actual love put into some of these games. The best way to start, I guess, is with the plot. I mean, okay, it's not the best plot ever. Nickelodeon Racing knew it didn't need a reason to get all these properties in one place to room it out. It's a kart racer. I don't need to understand why Bowser and Mario set aside their differences to enjoy a good old-fashioned kart racing. It's just, let's do it! I mean, I don't care that much. It's a quick FMV intro that doesn't take too much of your time. I just kind of needed to point it out. The mysterious writer, as this game points out, invites all these Nickelodeon characters out for a race.
I'd hate to spoil who he is, but the game kind of already does that for you.
I have you now. Come back here, you swine.
Even the Game Boy Advance version doesn't even care if you know right away.
This is all in an attempt to win the Krusty Krab Big Bun Award. I mean, why does he want it? I mean, it beats me. Is the formula in there? I don't think so. But that's your incentive. That's all you need. Get out there. Go! Let's look at these game character selections. The staple of any kart racer. With so many properties that Nicktoons owns, I mean, there's a lot that they can pick out of. Here in Nicktoons Racing has a very decent selection. 13 racers to pick from, and 8 different shows. It honestly has a nice selection. Nickelodeon Kart Racers only has 12! Not only does it have less characters, but less franchises too. You had so much to pick from, like Rocko's Modern Life, Invader Zim, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and you only decide to represent 4 of your shows? One of which it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a property I never really associated with you. I mean, yeah, I know you got the rights, but I mean, come on,
I'm not the only one that thinks that it's strange, right?
It's just four franchises, that's it. That's all they did. It's hard to compare and contrast these two in the racing aspect. I mean, they do a lot that's the same, but have their ups and downs, pros and cons. I can like and respect what one does, but hate the other. So, I mean, let's see if I can find a good starting point here. First, the controls feel good here in both games, but I need to take a point away from Nicktoons Racing. There's plenty of blind corners and narrow corridors you need to go through with objects in your way right after that, especially the Ren and Stimpy course. And while there have been plenty of times where I feel Nickelodeon Kart Racing had a poor time communicating with me which way I should go, if you know which way you need to go in Nicktoons Racing, it's still a freaking challenge to get through it because your kart can't control that well in these tight areas. If the maps were a little bit wider or they make the turns less tight, it'd be a little easier of a time.
Just by a little, though.
I do appreciate the cramped, cluttered areas in this game. In fact, it seems kind of like a problem in Nickelodeon Kart Racing. There's areas where it's a little too open. I mean, it's nice to butt heads with you and all these racers. A compromise would be lovely. While it was a little bit easier to control in Nickelodeon, there were still plenty of areas where I was just fuming with rage.
These flying courses, for example, I hate them so much.
It goes for this Mario Kart 7 approach where you can glide and travel atop of water. And these water sections, they don't do a lot for me. Look at Nicktoons Racing. You're constantly going up and down hills, tight areas, different platforms, avoiding obstacles. I mean, you couldn't always see an obstacle coming to avoid it, but it was honestly a good time. In these sections, however, you turn right, maybe sometimes left, a jump. They must have known that these sections weren't all that good because they tried to mix it up. Need to pass on the left of the sign, occasionally eliminate a character, and that's fine enough, but the traditional obstacles and explorative areas do a whole lot more for me. The world of Nicktoons is magical in this game. I mean, look at the Rugrats section. Everything is large and colorful. These chairs, cars, trucks are giant. I mean, why? Because it's supposed to make you feel like a child. The world's big and you need to explore the whole area. It has forests and factory zones that are strange and alien to a child, just like the stuff out of Tommy's imagination. And it screams Rugrats. In fact, every area of this place screams these characters' areas. I never really watched Real Monsters or Angry Beavers as a kid. I didn't watch a whole lot of Ren and Stimpy, but I knew what each of these raceways belonged to. Nickelodeon Racers kinda does that. I mean, I can tell this is from Rugrats, this is from SpongeBob, this is Ninja Turtles, yet they're kinda iconic in their design and art style. So I mean, what's the problem? It's through Nicktoons Racing use of colors and shades that makes it amazing to explore. You can go through a course and feel a sense of the world, and the show is trying to represent. The Hey Arnold stage, you're jumping through parks to roads, night to day, and you always have a lot to look at. And see, the Cat Dog Mall stage has beautiful, vibrant colors that really represents the show well. And in kart racing, you always feel like you're in the same area. It's lacking, and some racing tracks look exactly the same. These two tracks are different tracks, and there's all these characters awkwardly placed, staring, always waving. Oh my god, what is Mr. Krabs doing up there? It honestly feels better to drive through Nicktoons Racing. Sorry, Nickelodeon Kart Racers, but you've been deducted more points.
Oh no!
I feel like it'd be criminal to not mention the sound design in both of these games because both are on extreme ends. There's a gray area and you guys can't meet in it. Neither of you guys made it in. I don't know which one is worse because both music are okay. Nicktoons, I like quite a bit of it. It's nothing too memorable. Each area has a good track that fits in with the specific area, I guess. To start, Nicktoons is downright criminal with the screams. Each character is voiced, which I like and respect, but most are there just them screaming. I don't want to hurt Tommy if he's just gonna scream at me. It hurts my heart, really. I feel the sound. Whenever you want to click on anything, it needs to add a car honk or a bouncy ball sound effect. I mean, listen to this more than 5 seconds and tell me this is okay. Nickelodeon, on the other hand, has nothing going for it. The music and sound effects just seem very stock for me. And while I think Nicktoons tries too hard to fill in the sound effects, Nickelodeon does not. Characters don't speak at all. Characters don't speak at all. Their heads appear at the bottom left hand of the screen and they say something witty. Some sound effects are just flat out missing. I mean, I get I'm holding an item. I don't know, an audio cue would be nice to signal that I just went over it. Everything in the sound department seems extremely lazy and not done. Point goes to Nicktoons here. It's criminal for me to say. I mean, both are pretty not polished in the sound design, but I mean, you know, whatever. Whoever tried harder, I guess, where the point goes to. So, which game won the most points in the end and earns my favor as the best Nick racing game? Yeah, there's no surprise there. Despite it coming out, despite the game being 17 years older and on a far less advanced system, it still feels like a better experience that put in far more effort. While Nickelodeon tries to have plenty of replayable values with cart costs, loot crates, and unlockables, I just had my fill after a few hours or so. It does far less than its Nicktoons counterpart, which truly feels kinda like a Disney experience. Exploring colorful worlds and taking you on a magical ride that I didn't really feel the need to put down. I mean, okay, I had my fill after a few hours or so, but if you had to choose between the two, I would suggest this one. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Is it back? Scoot it this way a little. I don't want that ugly edge in there.
It's not in there.
Is it?
It's not.
Is it not?
No.
Okay, I got my eye on you.
I'm sorry to Your hands aren't in frame, so you're gonna have to... And your head... Okay.
Is my head not in frame?
I am... Oh.
This is a disaster.
That's like perfect.
Is it?
But... Don't...
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. It means a ton that you even clicked on this video. Make sure you subscribe and click the like button to see even more stuff like this. I have other things planned in the future. You know, My Hero Academia, I think. I'm gonna try to refrain from doing any more fast editing. You saw probably a lot in that episode. I apologize about that. I'm still new to this whole thing. But again, thank you. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button as well. Just go ahead and hit one of those. Preferably both, if you could. Mean a ton to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.